Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Again Shatterpoint podcast. And we're here to talk about the wonderful things that was AdeptiCon and hopefully talk about things that we were excited about. We'll see what happens. I think we had a good time at AdeptiCon and streamed some amazing things there. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into it. And I'm going to talk to Aubrey over here and have a good time and talk about the wonderful things that we did all weekend long. It was a long week, Aubrey. How are you feeling? Have you recovered yet?
Todd, this is the first time after a trip where I was tired like 3 days after. So spoilers, I didn't go to my sword. I was planning on going to my sword class on Thursday, and instead I went and hung out with Talia at her league game. She does billiards pool. She was doing 8-ball or 9-ball. I don't keep track of them. How many balls were on the table? Whatever. Because I was that tired. I got halfway through the day on Thursday, and I was getting sleepy at work. And my job isn't like that physically demanding. Well, hardly any of it's demanding, but all I know is that I was doing I was using a lot of my therapy and emotions and parts work and stuff for my coworkers for 4 hours straight the first day I came back to work. And I was exhausted, and I'm like, nope, not going to sword class. Then I did that again the next day. And then today, I took my lunch break late because, again, scheduling, assistant branch manager, whatever. I laid down on the couch in our break room, and I nearly passed out. And, Todd, I've slept pretty well since getting back to my own bed because those hotel beds were rough. And so to be clear, dear listeners, I was not the one who worked the hardest. I've never seen Todd tired before, everyone. In the years I have known him, never seen Todd with his gas tank almost on E. And this trip, Todd was getting tired.
Sunday was rough.
I was getting worried. And there's a lot of things that worry me in life. Anxious baby. My therapist is treating me for anxiety. I never worry about Todd's stamina. Okay, that sounds weird. And at this trip, like, whoo, we stuck the landing. But I was like, are we gonna be doing the thing where we're holding you up like Weekend at Bernie's? like everything's fine here. Todd's fine. Don't look at the stick we have shoved up there to keep him going.
Yeah, Sunday was rough. I think first round of Sunday, I was like, I was barely holding on. But I mean, like, I want to say this. I've been running the numbers, like, as far as like stream it was concerned, because I do a lot of post report stuff for AdeptiCon. Like, I've been in multiple meetings, collating a lot of information and everything along those lines. We started out slow, especially compared to 2025. But the numbers that we had as far as viewers and engagement and everything like that on stream from 2025 to 2026 on the last day of AdeptiCon were the same, if not better. So, like, we started out slow, and I think that has a lot to do with, like, what the reaction from a lot of the announcements that we saw in the community were. But it felt like we finished strong when it came to, Shatterpoint in general. So, I mean, that gives me a lot of excitement and a lot of motivation going forward to the next couple, the next stage and going into 2027. So, I don't know. I was excited, man. Like I said, it was difficult. Like I said, I was struggling for sure. I know at the end that last day was rough. It was, but I was limping across the finish line for sure.
Hey, no. I bet. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, everyone. I should preface this with, like, this was a little bit of a peek behind the curtain at the Wizard. I'm not saying that the average person who walked by the stream table went, "Ooh, what's going on with Todd?" Nah, you were keeping it all together and you were doing fine. I would just, with my enhanced Todd senses, were like, "Ooh, he's I don't know what to do about this. I've never seen him tired before. What do I do? This is tired Todd. I'm like, new experience for Aubrey. And so, yeah, no, it went well. Well, and hey, didn't you tell me, didn't the number of players at this event, didn't it beat out somebody else's game? What were you telling me about
100%.
that?
So yeah, I started pulling even more numbers. So like if you look at all of the non 40K GW games that had events at Adepticon, Shatterpoint beat all of them. We had like the GT and the one that I look at the most, or at least for us, is I don't think Age of Sigmar. I don't think we beat Age of Sigmar or 40K, to be honest. But the one that I can compare us the most to is going to probably be Kill Team, because Kill Team is the GW premier skirmish game. They only had 96 at Adepticon. We had 124 for our event. Like that we capped. So I mean, even if you took out the 11 players that came and auto qualified, we had 113 compared to their 100 or their 96. I think we did pretty good. I mean, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know. I mean, like take that for what it's worth, but you know what? Shatterpoint is still doing pretty good, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. No, I will admit that number surprised me, because when you told me, oh, the viewership on Thursday and Friday, well, Thursday and Friday is always hard anyway, because like if you aren't taking the time off for Adepticon, you're probably working, and if you're working, not everybody can just throw up, YouTube or Twitch or whatever, whatever thing of your choice in the background. Like some of us got real jobs. I mean, I'm not one of them, but some of us have real jobs. Like come on.
Yeah, not everybody's like Quincy, like that lives in the UK and takes time off just to hang out with us. I mean, but he did take out time off just to hang out with us, but he actually flew all the way over to the United States. So I was like, highlight number one for me for Adepticon was him coming over and actually getting to meet him face to face, and his brother Darren. That was pretty cool too.
Wait. Are we just jumping into highlights, like no
No.
preamble?
Like that was this just rolled off the path. But we can jump into highlights too if you want.
I'm like, there was no segue, Todd. Like, come on. I know it's late. I know we're recording at an unusual time, but like,
yes, we are.
Okay, all right, fine, all right. I guess I'm the one. Wait, no, you're supposed to drive the bus. I said that before we start. Okay, fine. Nobody's driving the bus. The bus. All right, well, then my number one highlight, I'm just going to Tarantino this and jump to the end, because this is still my number one highlight, and it has to do with Quincy and Darren. So Quincy and Darren, shout out, because Darren won a freaking samurai sword in a miniatures tournament. He's from the UK. Librarian Aubrey had to put his hat on at 3rd Street Market and Google UK import laws as they relate to weapons. That was not on my bingo card, because Darren's like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Do I sell it? Can I ship it to myself? I'm like, I don't know. I had to show him the government website, because I'm like, look, I work for the United States, not United States government, local U.S. government. I don't work for the feds. But I'm like, I don't know. Is this even the correct UK? Like, it says UK.gov. Is that legit? Like, I had to confirm. I had to confer with them. Then I had to find out. So, dear listeners, this is a Shatterpoint and intergalactic politics podcast. In case you're wondering, if you are going to ship a live bladed weapon, mind you, this was a sharp blade. Not even like, cause a lot of prop weapons or fun weapons that just sit up on your wall and look cool. Like they're not.
This was not that.
Yeah, they're not. They're usually dull. Todd, the most expensive sword I own isn't even the blade I cut with, because I got like a cheapo cutting blade that's just designed to take abuse and punishment. It's like under $200. My sparring weapon is like $250, and it's designed for steel impacts, so it's a little bit thicker than a sword actually should be, and it's on both sides So like it's like I call it extra dull because it's designed for us to spar with with all the equipment and protection and stuff on. And this thing was not either of those. This was a live blade. Now it was kind of cheaply manufactured and and we looked at it, like eventually Darren looked it up and found it, and that's what he ended up selling it for, was a cheaper price than even I thought, because I looked at it and like, all right, well, we're a Star Wars, Shatterpoint, and intergalactic politics and sword construction podcast now. The way most weapons blades are constructed of good quality, the blade is just one metal piece all the way through the handle, and then you have a
full tang.
Yeah, full tang. Hey,
you didn't think I knew that, huh?
I forget. Hey, one of us was a soldier and actually fought people, and the other one dresses up and plays pretend with it. But whatever. If you don't know which is which, you haven't been paying attention, dear listeners. And so, like, I look at it and I'm like, oh no, this is not. It's just like connected to the handle. I'm like, whatever. But as I explain, as like say Omnis and Danny and a couple of others are just pulling this thing out of his sheath in the middle of the beer hall at 3rd Street Market, I'm like, guys. I'm like, this is a real weapon. Like, this is like I know Danny does like a BJJ. Like, I'm not saying they weren't being safe or anything, but I'm like, guys, you need to understand. I promise you, like, you could kill someone with this, and everybody's like, well, I could kill somebody with my bare hands. I could kill somebody with my keys. I could kill somebody with a butter knife. And I'm like, yes, but there are security guards here, and this is a little bit bigger than your keys or your fists or a butter knife. I'm like, yes, I could kill somebody with the fork that I just used from the restaurant. And yes, I'm going on.
Yes, but keep in mind, this was the Saturday night meetup that we always have for Shatterpoint at 3rd Street Market, right next to the beer wall, and it was Rogue Support. It was us. Omnis was there to represent Rarely Reserved.
Between Two
Coordinated Fire was in there. Between Two Sprues was there.
Yeah.
And there was representation from Zion's Finest. So we had 5 podcasts all hanging around the beer wall, hanging out, drinking on a Saturday night with like before the last night of AdeptiCon. Things were going to get a little crazy anyway, and that's like always the highlight.
No, not samurai sword live blade crazy. They were like, well, I don't even know who. Somebody was like, can you show us something? And I'm like, no, this is a live blade, and you're all been drinking. Like, as I was drinking water. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, like my teacher, like when we have our. Sorry, I'm gonna keep going. I guess this is my number one highlight. When we get our wooden swords in class, our teacher teaches us to treat them as if they are the live blade, and like how we handle them and what we do with them. Like it's weapon safety 101. So like, no, I wasn't going to pull the actual live weapon that I could slice somebody's face off with in the middle of the food hall. But also, that was the most fun that I think I have ever had at any event ever, was Darren coming over with this look on his face of, so I won a sword like, I thought just meeting Quincy and Darren was gonna be cool. Like they see, like, Quincy's very active in our Discord and everything. And don't get me wrong, they were exactly like I imagined, very chill, very cool. Like, we had great conversations, good time seeing them. But this will forever stand out now as the most insane thing I have ever encountered at any gaming convention or nerd convention. Like, it's so cool, but also crazy.
It was an amazing experience, one that you're never going to experience at a Magic tournament. I will say that for sure. It was
no.
It was awesome. It was fantastic. I mean, it's like, and the fact that 2 of our friends from the UK were part of this entire conversation and experience was even better, because it's like it became an international incident by accident.
Cause it's like, okay, everybody, okay, we know what country we live in. Like, what's Darren gonna get if he comes back to a AdeptiCon next year? They gonna give him a 9 mil? Like, how do you go? Like, welcome to America.
He should go and play. He should go and play Halo Fallout or the Halo game and see what kind of weapon he can get from that. That's what I'm thinking. Some really cool futuristic weapon from Halo. That's what
He's
we're
gonna
going
get
with.
the energy blade. It's gonna be another sword. He's gonna get the Covenant energy
Yes.
energy blade.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, but
All right,
it
what do
was
you got?
a good time.
What do you
No,
got?
no,
What
no, it
else
was
you
a good
got?
time. So, no, I mean, so I know we went down that road. I guess I kind of want to backtrack because yes, we did talk about
Okay.
how. I know. So it was really like one of the things, like we said, we were talking about how like the amount of players that we got compared to other systems, and it's really nice that we ended up getting all of that going on, and I'm excited to see. There was good growth in our community, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Even though there was all these announcements that talked about how that kind of promoted the roughness of our like where Shatterpoint is and gave all of these doubts of where Shatterpoint is. Our community showed up in force and still came out and played and still had an amazing time. And at the end of the day, we rallied and like the viewership showed up and people were really engaged in it. I think even though we didn't get the best announcements that I think everybody wanted to have going into the weekend and going into, the future of everything, I think people there was a little bit of renewed confidence in what we are going to experience in Shatterpoint. And I'm excited for that piece of it, of where we potentially are going in the future, and we're optimistic about the future and everything along those lines. And I know some people may say we're buying into the nonsense and everything along those lines of AMG or whatever, but I don't want to be negative about it. I want to be as positive as possible and move forward from there. I don't know. What do you think?
No, the story of the week is about community. As you were saying that, Todd, and I'm trying to focus very hard on working on just listening and not thinking about the next thing I'm going to say. It's hard. uh, but what you made me think of is that once again, the story of this year's Adepticon was community, because I had so many people come up and introduce themselves for the first time, or it's people that I've interacted with a lot, like either in the Discord or in the past. Like I'm thinking of like Eli, Lord House, coming up, and it was a lot. There was several times where like I was finally getting to put faces to stuff. Like this was my first time meeting Dizzard in like a human form and not just a bubble on a screen and Twitch. Because I've never actually this is ironic. While I have been on Rogue support multiple times, every single time it was a time where Dizzard, as far as I remember, every time Dizzard wasn't on. So even though I've been on Rogue support multiple times and interacted with Dizzard innumerable times in Discord, this was my first time actually interacting with the guy as a real live human being, like IRL, no screen or anything. So like that's cool. There was a few people who came up during the meetup on Saturday that just wanted to say hi. I love you all. This community is great. You're all so positive and happy, but it's also still surprising to me when somebody's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan listener," and I'm like, I just wander off into no man's land, and Todd eventually reminds me that we're technically trying to run a professional casual podcast over here. Not the same word.
Professionally casual adjacent, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, I mean it's interesting. I mean, like I think it's interesting because like so many people like sit there and talk about us being like pillars of the community, and I don't know if it's not intentional. Like we didn't intentionally like come into this. It's just like we're a couple of gamers that really enjoy doing gaming things and want to do it the right way. And I think that kind of comes through in the podcast, and I think that kind of resonates with a lot of people. And I think that's like something that we want to continue to grow, is just that positivity in gaming, not just, the competitive try hard stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, I love Kenny and all of the guys over at Zion's Finest, because that's where they are. They're 100% are competitive and all about like
Oh yeah.
yeah, and to a certain extent the guys over at Rogue Support as well. I mean, they, it's there's a mix of it over on their side, but there's definitely a lot of that going on too. And I think that's one of the things where there's definitely a place for it, but on our side of things, there's also a place for just having fun playing games. And it's funny, like, I think I've had multiple Discord conversations with a couple of different people. Like, I was talking with Leland over at Aegis Brand Studios, um, just talking about stuff like with like some of the reports I'm doing for Adepticon and everything like that, and like asking for his input with some of the stuff with Shatterpoint. And I was talking about, like what we do, and kind of related to Shatterpoint in general, and how our game has kind of evolved into this. It's a casual epic moment type of a game, and I think that's one of the things that like we draw into is like, and I like, he's not the only one. Like, within 6 hours of that conversation, I had another conversation with someone about the same thing with Shatterpoint, how it's such this epic moment in gaming. And that's kind of the beauty of our game, is like we revolve around the epic moments of gaming and things along those lines. And that's one of the things I really love about our community, is we embrace those epic moments and we continue to grow on those epic moments. And I'm looking forward to more epic moments in the future, I guess.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I mean, and I just I'm sitting here and there's so many people that I could shout out. Like cuz I know we want to talk about our story, but like Doug from he was in Oklahoma and now
Clan of Two.
oh, Jesus, yes. God, thank you. I, okay, everyone, say it with me one more time. If I forget your name, it's not because I don't care. It's because there's a pigeon up there that keeps knocking the names out of my head. Anyway, but like he even though and I don't think this is a secret or anything. Like he's one of the people who's not particularly happy about some of the announcements and some of the things. But you know what he did the whole time at Adepticon? He kept checking in with me and going, "Hey, I know you're doing a lot of work with the stream because he, Clan of Two, he knows how much I called this Adepticon the duck paddling. Like, the duck looked nice and calm and smooth on the surface of the water, like just moving right along, but there was some paddling, paddle, 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 paddle all the whole time. And Doug would just check in, like, Doug was hooking us up with extra swag just because he was, being a nice guy. Like, some of the best conversations I had that were like, because I didn't get to do I was doing a lot of running because, stuff that happened where we don't need to dig into that. But the few chances that I had to just sit on the hall floor and not be running or moving or doing something were very few and far between this time. Like, not that we get a lot in general, but like, well, Todd gets none, but like, we'd only get a few, and we got fewer than the few. I was just sitting with him, and he got to meet up with all, like, his play group got scattered to the four corners of America, military. Well, you know better than I do, Todd, military stuff. So they all got scattered, and they're all hanging out and chilling. And I honestly, I don't think I was doing much to contribute to the conversation. I was just letting them talk to each other and joke around and vibe. And that was one of another highlight. And that was just, again, community. The Shatterpoint community. I have been in toxic gaming communities, full stop. I've seen it in multiple places. And Shatterpoint, like, we came together, we had a good time. Like, seeing Unlucky McDuck, he was joking around with us. Like, I know I'm switching between Discord names and real names because whatever, I'm tired. Like, just seeing different people again, even like the people I know now from LVO or from other places, and I'm putting the pieces together and my brain is slowly remembering you. That, like, that's it. It's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, that's one of the amazing things. So, Unluck McDuck is Evan Ritt. who
Evan.
was
I wanted to
Evan
call him
must play
Ethan.
faster.
I kept wanting to call him Ethan. I'm like, I know that's wrong, so I'm just gonna call him by his Discord name.
Yes.
I was close.
Yes, so Evan must play faster is Unluck McDuck.
Dang it.
So we'll get you there. We are recording on a Saturday night when you have already had time to go out and have drinks and dinner and stuff like that. So it's a very different Aubrey that I think people are getting on this podcast than the normal Aubrey that we're getting, which is fantastic.
I have spent the past 3 days therapizing multiple people, some on my team and some not on my team in my library. And is it fine? It's fine. But I'm also very tired.
He's like, man, Todd sucks. And that's what he's telling his therapist over and over again is this guy sucks. He makes us work so hard. But it's all right.
No offense, Todd. I don't know if you even made it to the therapy sessions, and I had an extra one this week. Like it was about other stuff.
I think that's good. I'll take that as a win. I will take that as a
win. There you go.
But no, I mean, like, I like looking back at Adepticon. Like I said, we've so yes, the reveal wasn't the greatest, I think, when it came down to it. There was a lot of information that came out during the reveal. Dizzard said it multiple times to me. That number in the upper left-hand corner said 2027. We didn't see a whole lot coming this year. And I did address that with Will and with Plumber. Like, so it was funny because when I went to do the interview on Saturday morning, the interview was initially planned to just be with Will. And when they realized that it was I wanted to talk about the reveal, Will's like, well, let's bring on Plumber too. And so I had to sit there and kind of pivot into that.
Oh boy.
So I had both of them. I'm like, okay, let's run with it and see what happens. So that was actually a really fun interview though. Like there was a lot of information that came out because, you know, like Schick and Plumber both like to sit there and kind of just talk and let us know everything that's going on. So it was interesting to see. It gave me a lot of hope about the future and what we might see. So they did say, you know, talk about under promising, over delivering, promises for the future. There was a lot of things that they said that gave me hope that, hey, maybe 2026 is not going to be as bad as we thought, and that maybe we'll see some future stuff. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this is Shatterpoint is not the primary game. Legion is definitely the primary game. We've seen that based off of the reveals. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out for Legion, and you know what? The people that are going to go and play that game separately, as Aubrey like slides his Legion stuff off to the side, but I mean, I don't blame it. I mean, like I'm in a group chat with like the founder or one of the heads of Inferno Squadron, who is like a big Legion guy here in Arizona. You know, we talk about it all the time. Legion's in a great spot, and they're going to continue to do great things. As long as we continue to do great things here in Shatterpoint, we're going to sit there and hang on to it as well. And I guess that's kind of one of the things I was like kind of going back and looking at. It's like, yeah, we're not going to put up the numbers of other games, but you look at like, what is it? The same weekend of Adepticon, the UK had a 14-player tournament. There was the same weekend as Adepticon. There was other tournaments going on. You had UK had a tournament, multiple tournaments in the UK. There was tournaments going on the weekend before in Canada that had 12 players. So there was a lot of other events going on that are 10 plus players that are definitely doing great things. You look at, I think, Mike Corkill. I see his name a lot when the Shatterpoint over in Ohio. He's had 10 plus player events all the time going on over there in Ohio. And that's fantastic. You know, Musbaka up in Canada is still doing great things up there. So there's a lot of things going on that, like, I think are good, positive things happening in our community that we need to focus on and not focus on those negatives and just keep on doing great events, having good times, and focus on the positives that we have going on, because that's going to get us through this time. And then eventually, like, you know what? if once Asmodee and this whole Embracer Group thing ends and they come out of that in a, like, maybe it's going to be a year, maybe it's going to be 2 years, and they allow AMG to sit there and start, investing into the games that they have, maybe we'll come out ahead. I mean, there was some times when MCP was really going on, and there was some slowdowns that happened, especially during COVID. This is our COVID. We're going to slow down. We're going to sit there and probably suffer through a little bit of slow times, but if we hang in there and we keep on playing and keep on loving this game, then hey, maybe we'll end up in a good place. And I think that's where I'm leaning towards, is like kind of just struggling through it and playing this. And it's not even a struggle. We're gonna sit there and play this game and have fun playing it, and and then hopefully Asmodee will sit there and support AMG the way that we want them to.
Right. And I want to preface this with, I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum, and I don't want to ignore the fact that we were literally given zero new information in the announcement. Mm-hmm. Full stop. Those are things that I am not particularly happy with. However, I also walked around AdeptiCon, where every tabletop game is being played, even if it's in a little tiny off to the side room because they only got so many players for a side room. Fine. And again, I want to say it one more time. I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum. I tried the new StarCraft game. I watched Trench Crusade. I watched, I don't remember what else, but I was looking at games. I was shopping around. And nothing's like Shatterpoint. Nothing. I'm sorry, not even MCP is like Shatterpoint. And I'm not trying to yuck anybody else's yum. I understand why everyone loves those games. I understand it. But I like Shatterpoint. like at the end of the day, am I gonna try the StarCraft game with Talia's, one of Talia's all-time loves? I brought home one of the promo models from the new StarCraft game because it's one of her loves. She's gonna want to play it. She keeps pestering me to play MCP with her, and I'll be honest, probably part of the reason she doesn't play as much MCP as she thought she was is I think she thought she was gonna bat her eyelashes and get me to jump ship, and that didn't happen either. I like Shatterpoint, Todd. Do you think I talk to y'all about this all the time because I like Star Wars? I would just sit in a room and talk about Star Wars to nobody if that was all.
That is 100% accurate that you would just be doing that. I could see you just sitting in the back room of your house going, let me tell you about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you would probably just be talking to yourself, and that's fine. We will understand that 100%. But no, I mean, where this. That's, I think, one of the amazing things about this game, and it's interesting. Like you're going down another conversation path. I think that I was having with other individuals is Shatterpoint is different. It's not for everybody, and I will 100% acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being, the reason being is, one of the biggest things with Shatterpoint or with tabletop wargaming is there are people, especially in the competitive sense, where they want to win by tabling you. They want to win by killing everything you have on the table. You know what you can't do in Shatterpoint? You can't win by killing everything on the table, because that's never going to happen. And I think that's it adds to this uniqueness of the game that people can't understand with to some extent. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, and I think that's okay. But I think that kind of adds to we're a specialist game, like side of where Asmodee is trying to take us to, is we're not like other games. We are different, and I'm okay with that. But I think the community as a whole needs to be okay with that, and we need to sit there and kind of move forward with the fact that and embrace the specialist game tag that we have been given. And it's okay. We can be a specialist game. You know what? We can be the best specialist game out of all the specialist games that are out there. And I think that's kind of like where my renewed faith is. Like we're not going to be AOS. We're not going to be 40K. We're not going to be Legion at this point in time. But you know what? We're going to be the best specialist game out there. And I think that's where we are. I mean, I think we can easily take that title. We're better than Kill Team. We're better than all of those other GW specialist games. And I think so. 100% I think so. I think we're better than Blood Bowl. We're better than Kill Team. We're going to be better than Infinity. We're going to be better than Malifaux. We can be top of the hill of the specialist games. And I think that's kind of a spot where I'm 100% okay with being, and I'm okay with championing that. Let's do it. Let's make it happen, Kevin.
well, and here's the thing. I know we've been talking about the direction of the podcast, and that we're going to talk probably about other Star Wars games. There might be a little bit of SWU in here. There might be some Legion in here. I still plan. Jared, I promise, I'm going to get to the East Valley and play some Legion with you at some point. I'll figure it out. I just the scheduling. But regardless, I mean, there's still so much ground. Todd, do you know that I have never put General Grievous on the table?
That's weird, but okay. I can see that with you.
But to be clear, it's not that I haven't played Separatist. I have played Dooku Mother Talzin. I have played with all of the units in Grievous's box. I have played with every Separatist model. Oh, wait. Now that Riff Tamsin comes out, I have Riff finally, but thanks to Damon. But I have not technically played with him yet. But my point is, like, and I know I'm not the most competitive player, and I'm not getting 500 games every 5 minutes, Dizzard. But yeah, I don't know why I call it Dizzard when like the sci-fi guys are right there with like 10 times as many games as like any other human being can conceivably do. But whatever. I've never played with General Grievous, not once, and I can tell you why, Todd. Because when I got him and
because you're a rebel Republic scum. Yeah, I can know.
Oh well, I mean, yes, there's that. But also, no, when I got him, and I had the hardest time assembling that model, and I did his feet wrong or something. So I had him on the base kind of weird and whatever. And then before I could even set him down from I primered him to paint him, and then dropped him, broke him off of his base and broke 2 of his lightsabers, got all freaked out because this was baby Aubrey not knowing how to do it. I think this was the first model I broke from handling, and freaked out and threw him in a Tupperware container to be like, I don't know what to do about this. I'm going to fix it later, panicking. And that's where he's lived ever since.
I mean, so Grievous was the second wave of releases.
Yes.
You've never played a miniatures game before in your life. That tracks 100% with you.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, where is he? He usually sits on my shelf. I must have moved him. He's over. This is the silliest part. I can't find him. He just sits on different shelves in the little Tupperware container. That's where he's been for what is it now, 2 years? And I don't tell anybody this story because it's silly. But Todd,
I feel I need to rescue Grievous from your house and fix him.
Yeah. So Todd, but do you get I have a point. There's actually a point I have here. I love this game. I've played a lot of this game. I've never played with General Grievous. And I bet if you ask every Shatterpoint player out there, there's at least one model they've never played with. Full stop.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Stop. Even
unless you're like Matt
guys.
Booker. No, I think Matt Booker's probably played with everything. I think Chris Sampson's probably played with everything.
Fine. Okay, so there's 10 Shatterpoint players out there.
Yeah, there's like 10% of the Shatterpoint players have probably played with everything. 90% haven't, and I mean, and that's kind of one of those things. I know, talking with Holden, who here's a big shout out. This is I have absolutely nothing to do with this, but I take pride in this because it's my local community. There were 6 players from Arizona that went to Adepticon. All 6 players, right? All 6 players from Arizona made the top 64 cut.
It's Shatterpoint time. Represent
Right.
Arizona.
I mean, I did tell them, all of them at one point in time. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad that you guys made the top 64 because I was going to exile you from Arizona if you didn't. 100% joking, but no, it's a point of pride. I mean, like Arizona has a great community, and we do great in that. I mean, yes, I know everyone wanted to make the top 8 and win the world championship, but 2 of the Arizona players that made the top 64 actually made the top 8. Liam and Matt Booker both made the top 8.
Yeah.
I mean, so we have great players out here. We have a great community, and the thing is, you go and play like someone like Matt Booker, and he's 2024 world champion, and I'm gonna say world champion even though it wasn't whatever. He was a 2024. It counts. The 2024 world champ. You go and play him in a game. You can be your first time playing the game. You know what? He's gonna sit there and have the most casual, fun game with you ever. And that's one of the most amazing things about our community is that you can play with a former world champion and have an amazing fun game and not feel like you're getting bullied off the table. That can't be said for other games, and that's one of the things I love about our community. So another reason why I love Shatterpoint is that because of something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and that is the thing that I'm most concerned about. Is that I've been through this a couple of times, like in the Magic spheres, where like a local community kind of fell apart or splintered apart due to a variety of reasons. And my thing is that we're all allowed to have our feelings about the current state of the game, the current state of the announcements, happy or not. But at the end of the day, that our behaviors and the impact of our decisions and our behaviors still matter. And I want my impact to be a positive one for the community. So I know it sounds like we're coming back from Adepticon and I don't know how you want to say this. We've drank the Kool-Aid or whatever. But hey, Todd, remind me what you told all of the AMG people about since they didn't know about it. What did you tell them about?
I don't know. There's a lot of things I said.
No. It had to do with a little vehicular incident that might have, changed the shape of American history and.
Going to the back of the bus. Yeah, no, I get that. Yes, definitely Shatterpoint is at the back of the bus, but you know what? We're not going to stop talking about how we have our representation and want to be represented. So I think that's one of the things that I guess as a community, let's stand up and talk about how we want to be represented and how we are here to stay. So we'll take that and run with it, I guess.
So Todd, should we?
And that's not an AMG thing. That's Asmodee. We're telling that to Asmodee because AMG knows.
Yeah. No. Okay. Everybody. Forget. I haven't even to be clear. If you want AMG, I know they're kind of paying attention to these Adepticon after reports. I'm sorry, but I hate to say it, but I know who my favorite is now. Because I haven't even watched our interviews yet. You know which interview I've watched? I watched Omnis's Dallas Kemp interview.
Yeah, and Dallas is a whole different person. He is a whole different person, and I love Dallas more than anything in the world. He's such an amazing dude. I love Dallas.
Like, I'm sorry, everyone. I try not to have favorites. You're supposed to like all of your AMG staffers, right? But Dallas, I had such a good time watching that interview, and I mean, he's behind the wheel of these creations. Like, he's one of these people, and like, I get that all of this sucks. But after watching all of the passion and energy and effort that's being poured into these games, like, it was a good reminder for me. It was a good reminder for me that, yes, Business decisions are going to happen. Money is real. Capitalism is real. We may have feelings about those subjects, but at the end of the day, the system is rigged and we're still playing the game. Or what is it? What is it? It's Grease. Grease says this in freaking Jedi Fallen Order. We know the dice are rigged, but this is the only game to play. Is basically something to that effect. And it's like that's just where I'm at. This is what I'm engaging with because I love this game and I love this community, and this is the if you want to play Shatterpoint, this is the only game in town, right? Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
like you can't
Absolutely.
go find another company that's gonna make Shatterpoint for you.
Nope.
Like come
Yeah.
on.
Well, and it's one of those, like, going back to the Dallas thing, like, him and I had multiple conversations over the course of the week, and it was interesting because, so, this was the first year Plummer was actually at Adepticon in, I think, 7 years. He hasn't been at Adepticon in a long time. Schick's always there, Pagani's always there, Dallas is there to a certain extent, but I think, kind of, for a lack of better way of putting it, they let Dallas off the leash. It saw him a lot. He was off
Yeah.
running around and everything along those lines, which is fantastic. But I was talking with Dallas, and one of the amazing things that's coming up going into 2027 is the Master of the Brush competition. So we have the Worthy, which was the MCP painting competition. Now we're going into 2027, and they actually have a Star Wars themed painting competition. And I've even talked to, like, painters on the Legion side. You know what is a better palette for painting Star Wars characters? Shatterpoint models. They're bigger scale. You can do a lot more with that. When it comes to that painting competition, what are people going to be gravitating towards? They're going to be gravitating towards painting those Shatterpoint models. So I was talking with Dallas. I'm hoping to work this out. I've already sent messages to AMG about potentially doing, like, a painting seminar, I guess, painting series, for probably a better way to put it, with Dallas about, like, learning how to paint models, like, just getting them to tabletop quality, and then maybe, like, for using a Dallas term, shushing them up a little bit, zhuzhing them up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, trying to bring a little bit of, like, little panache to them, so to speak, and bringing those models up, and then maybe bringing them up another level. And then I think we're going to actually talk about the actual competition itself of the Master of the Brush competition and what it means to play to like paint and compete in that. And I will say, it's not something that an amateur can do. Like, the people that compete in these competitions are professional painters. You're not going to sit there and be able to just be like, "Oh, I'm going to paint something and win a gold." No, you're going to have to put effort into it. You're going to have to be technically proficient. I've painted a couple times, and I think I'm a pretty decent painter, and I'm not even a bronze level painter. So you definitely have to sit there and bring your A game when it comes to it. But I think it's a very good competition because at the end of the day, you're going to get feedback on what you did as a painter. And I think that's important for all of people as painting, because whether you're going to try and be like just tabletop or you're trying to aspire to be a better painter, the competitions that AMG fosters is really good for trying to grow yourself as a painter in that journey. And I think that's something that comes from Dallas, is like, he always talks about the journey of becoming a painter and journey of becoming an artist. And that's something that I think the Worthy, and I'm assuming the Master of the Brush, is going to be.
Yeah, I I shameless plug the Dallas Kemp interview. He talks about my word, it's like 45 minutes of, like, deep internal philosophy through the lens of painting little plastic army guys, and it is. I just watched it all in one, more or less in one sitting. I think I stopped at one point to, like, take a shower because I was like, hi, just want to keep listening to this. And like, so one of the big things he talked about in that interview, and again, it's on Omnis Protocols, I think, because it's not, this isn't through Rarely Reserved, it's through Move Throw, because it was with him and Danny, so it's an MCP thing. So yes, they do talk a lot about, technically about MCP, but it's about painting. It is like 90% just about painting and philosophy and your conception, and then it's done through the lens of MCP models. Yes, but it was so good. He talks about the destiny of a model. He's like, is this model just supposed to be? And I know if you know what he's saying, you've heard this from him before, but I'm just giving you all a little taste if you haven't. He talks about, well, hey, if is this model just to be sit on the table and have the right colors and look good from 3 feet away? Because I'm summarizing, he didn't say it like this. Go watch the interview. But like, okay, well then this is the best model. This is the best model I've ever seen because it achieved its destiny. Now, are you trying to win a golden demon or win the worthy or win the master of the brush? Well, now we're going to have a different conversation, and we might talk about how the sole of the boot of this character looks like. Like
Yeah.
that's a different destiny. And just again, such good community, such good
Yeah.
community.
I think that's one of the amazing things is like the community of AMG. I mean, as we were, and I will say this, as we were getting ready to leave on Monday morning, I think most of the attendees were probably gone at that point in time. We went and had our breakfast, and then we were, packed up our bags. We're sitting outside the hotel, and it just so happens that Brandon from AMG and Will and Plumber, are, Schick and Plumber are walking past. And they stop and have a conversation with us. I mean, granted, like I said, like this is 9 o'clock on a Monday morning and everything along those lines, and we're leaving our hotel, getting ready to catch our Uber to the airport. But they walk past and actually take the time to talk to us, and express, the things that the visions that they have for the future of AMG and the futures that's going on. And I loved that we have people like the developers and the heads of studio for our community that are passionate about where this game is going and where it's going and what can happen with it. And I know there's a lot of people in our community that are very frustrated about what the vision is, where it's potentially going. But I think it's not something that the big corporate people that we know face to face are trying to stop from happening. They want this game to succeed. They want this game to move forward. And it's on us to kind of make that go forward from there. It's us about growing our communities and the grassroots options of it. And I think that's kind of one of the things that I came back from AdeptiCon running with. I want to sit there and grow all of the events that I'm associated with. So with, we're running we have a GT that, maybe we're not getting the numbers that I would hope to get, but we have a JT locally that's, getting 16, 20 players. I'm going to go up to Rocky Mountain Open, and Rocky Mountain Open it's the next GT after the one that we're having here locally. I'm going to stream that one, and I'm going to put all of my effort into sitting there making sure that people see Shatterpoint and how amazing of a game it is. And I want to sit there and continue to do that grassroots movement. And I think that if we as a community do that, I think there's good things that can happen. We might not get that immediate what is it? The immediate, not gratitude, but the immediate gratification. Thank you. The immediate gratification of our efforts. But I'm hoping in the long run we'll see that where, I think AMG will see it, and eventually Asmodee will see it, that here's the things that we're doing with our game is we're supporting our game. And that's what I'm going to keep doing over the next year plus, is just keep on plugging away and supporting this game as much as I can. And hopefully it'll end up where, the powers that be at Asmodee see it. That's where I'm at. I don't know about the rest of the community, but that's where I'm at right now.
And once again, because I'm hearing the voices of detractors go, "Oh, they're just towing the line, blah blah blah." No,
Yep.
there were a couple of things that I kind of had on my list of, okay, if this happens, I'm going to feel more hopeful. If this doesn't happen, I'm going to feel less hopeful. And I'll be honest, some of the less hopeful things that were on my list are what happened.
Yeah.
Am I happy about that? No, not particularly. I am not particularly happy. I prefer consistent, clear communication with a direction, and we did not receive what I personally would consider to be a sufficient bar of that. However, with that said, where I just told you all that I feel less hopeful because of those reasons, overall, my overall picture is still hopeful. I've had enough, I saw enough essentially behind the scenes, between the sheets, in between the lines, whatever you want to call it, that I think things are gonna be okay as long as we as a, and I hate to say, like, I hate to say this because I know everybody's like, you're just putting it on us, you're just putting it on us, it's not our job, it's the business's job, blah 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 blah. But here's the thing, I am saying the same thing that I was saying before, but I am saying it for a different reason. I saw the effort and energy and what was being said between the lines, and that's why I'm hopeful. Not just because I think our community is so awesome that we will just rally together and everything will be fine. I know multiple people who are at AdeptiCon, and they told me on the floor that that's the last time they're playing Shatterpoint. And that sucks. And but you know what? They are allowed to feel that way. They are allowed to be frustrated, and they are allowed to vote with their wallet and vote with their time and energy. I am not begrudging anyone. That sucks. But I feel like there's things we can do, and I've been given essentially I've been given just enough that I am hopeful. And if I have to eat these words in a year or two, fine. Hey Todd, how many times have I been wrong in the past couple weeks? Do we even know? I could be wrong, but I'm gonna choose to be hopeful.
Right. And I would say this, like, there is passion for this game within Atomic Mass Games. Will Schick, Will Pagani, Michael Plummer have all put a lot of hours and a lot of energy into this game. They don't want to just throw it away. They want this game to thrive. I mean, that is 100% from the conversations I've had with them. That is 100% what they want. You can take that for what it's worth. You can sit there and say, you know, Todd's lying out of his ass and he's full of crap. Whatever, you know.
We don't know
fine.
anything. We don't know anything secret. Please stop asking me. People have asked me on the floor, and I'm like, guys, I don't work for AMG.
But based off of conversations that I've had with these gentlemen, it's like they are genuinely want this game to be amazing, and they want it to thrive. They want it to do the best that it can do. But at the end of the day, they answer to a big corporation, and that big corporation is going to look at the dollars and cents on an Excel spreadsheet and what that means. It's up to us to make that decision whether we want to continue to play this game, continue to buy into this game, or whether we're going to move on to something else. I mean, and it's, you know, it's our dollars matter. But at the end of the day, are also our dollars, you know, it's your dollars. Do you want to spend your money on this game? And do you want to continue to invest in something? I know locally here in Arizona, we're going to continue to play it, but we don't have the community others do. All right, go ahead, Aubrey. I know you had something you were putting your finger up. What do you got to say?
I don't know. I was waiting. I'm working on this whole waiting and taking my turn thing. It's interesting. It's fascinating. The fiance may need this. Anyway, so my thing is that yes, yes, we're hearing about people leaving the community. Yes, we're hearing about voting with your dollars. I I also have like the feeling of, well, hey, I own just about every Shatterpoint, you know, model in existence. I had to count it off. I'm only missing what is it? CT and Veers. I think it's a couple of Empire. It's a couple
That's
of Empire
impressive.
boxes, right? Like I think that's all I'm missing. And then like I haven't bought in the outer rim. Like I even own most of the terrain. I have all the terrain except for the new outer rim thing. Even though I'm ready to go, I already have Thoris's printout to like make it work a little better. Like I have the print, but not the not the actual thing. Like so, I'm still planning on picking up some stuff. But the the bottom line is that let's talk like because I know we're already hitting an hour and like we've been going on and we haven't even talked about like the actual games or the actual stream. We're just talking community because I know this is what y'all need to hear. Apparently, I am being community counselor this week. Like, yay, go Aubrey! Therapy's great. Everybody should try it. You got to find the right one though, because what a therapist that's good for one person is not good for every person. You got to find what's right for you. Anyway, that's my last plug. But it at Adepticon, there were 24 people who saw Shatterpoint in their VIP swag bag. Or maybe it wasn't all of them, but there was at least 24 people who went and did the Learn to Play event and was talking to John. I'm so bad with everyone's name.
John is the learn to
Yeah.
play guy.
Yeah, Learn to Play
Yes.
guy. And John came over to talk to us at the stream table and to talk to some of the AMG people who are there too and wanted to talk about the fact that so many people came away with positive feelings about Shatterpoint after just trying it once that they were going to go and find the core set. Like, and I don't remember. I just remember the number 24. I don't know. It's in a report somewhere. But all I'm saying is that like this is still a good game. We can still play it. Like,
Right.
go play it. A bunch of other people agree with us.
So here's the numbers, and I have I was working with John, and at the end of the weekend, Thursday, they had 24 players that did Learn to Play. On Friday, they did 19 players that did Learn to Play. On Saturday, they had 25 players that did Learn to Play. And on Sunday, granted Sunday's kind of a slow day, they had 7 players that did Learn to Play. So between all of those days, you had what? That's 19 plus 24. That's 44 plus 24 is 64 plus 7 is
68.
68.
And then
So you had
75.
Yeah, you had 75 players. I'm going off of Aubrey math, so he's a librarian, so we'll just trust that. But it's probably going to be wrong. So, but there was over 70 players. There was over 70 players that did a Learn to Play for the first time at Adepticon for Shatterpoint, and they had a great experience. Granted, we were probably milking it a little bit by throwing stickers at them for
Yeah, free stickers brings in players.
Yeah, so we were like
buttons work too.
Apparently, like the stickers was really good with the female crowd, not necessarily with the male crowd. But when the husband and wife came over and you gave the wife the stickers, the wife was like, "Oh, we should play this game a little more often." So stickers works. Just so all of you guys out there know. But no, it was overall it was a great. It went well. I think that was one of the things that there was a lot of players that are still interested. A lot of people still interested in this game. And I think we can continue to grow this game as much as possible. Like I said, I'm looking at traveling a little bit more. I'm going to Rocky Mountain Open, making the 12-hour drive, which is going to suck. But I'm going to make that 12-hour drive. I'm actually taking 2 local players all the way up with me to sit there and play in it because why not? It is a long drive. You know, I did that in the military. I think I can survive. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those where I will say this: I'm willing to sit there and put in the work to sit there and try and promote this community, try and promote this game. If you want to sit there and see this game survive, go to your game store and display. That's all that needs to happen. That's all that needs to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and okay, all right. I'm gonna give you all one preview because I want to do a whole separate episode just on this. But I'm gonna give you one preview, and well, okay. I'm gonna give you two. First off, go back and if you didn't watch the games live, go back and watch the stream on our YouTube because the especially the top eight. Oh my god, that was a masterclass in how to play this game competitively. Like I can't explain it to you. Go watch them because there was some. Now, I know some variants led to some results. Remind me, Todd, do we play a dice game or do we play chess?
We do play a dice game, but you know what? The person that won the world championship actually was the runner-up last year. So Matt Bronson is freaking solid when it comes to playing this game, and he is an amazing, amazing player. So you know what? I would say this: it's yes, there is variance, but at the end of the day, the top players in this game, North America and Europe included, not counting Poland because Poland has their own players. Australia has their own players that probably should come over and play in the World Championships at some point in time. I know it's a long flight.
That's a long
but
flight.
it is a long flight. But I think if we were to sit there and be able to have the Poland and Australian players come in and play this game, we would see some amazing play. But you know what? Matt Bronson was on top of his game and an amazing player. I will say this. I know he is going to be interviewed by Zion's Finest. I was going to try and have him on to interview him as well. I will default to Zion's Finest because when it comes to talking, when it comes to talking like high end competitive play, Sweeten and Kenny, the two of those guys are going to sit there and be able to sit and have those high level conversations that I think I'm not going to be able. Well, that I could have, but probably am not going to be able to have at their level. So I am excited to hear their interview. I was actually talking with Sam earlier today about the potential interview that he's going to be having. So I would look forward to having that conversation. I know that Matt also has done some conversations over on Fifth Trooper as well, and he has published a couple of articles. Definitely worth reading his articles as well. I'm probably gonna. There's going to be a lot of links in this episode in regards to everybody's content and everything along those lines. Yeah, so I want everyone to sit there and engage in all of the content that's out there and really look at what's going on because there's some amazing stuff going on with this game, and I think we can sit there and grassroots grow this game more.
So I'm just going to make sure I don't forget, there was a part B to that because that was actually the first half. So I remembered. The other half. Here's your preview, your other preview. Battle on the Sands is the most fun that I've had playing Shatterpoint in the past 8 months. And this isn't me being whiny about the meta because, sorry, I liked playing Cassian. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Cassian's really fun to play with. Play with him until they fix him. Anyway, and then play with him afterwards. Who cares? But Battle on the Sands. All I will tell you right now is it's like they made an entirely different game using the core mechanics of Shatterpoint. And I can't wait for more because that by itself, all you need to buy is one squad. And then have somebody who has the rest of the stuff you might need, and you're going to be playing a 4-player free-for-all. So, you could tell somebody, hey, who's your favorite character? Go buy that box. Come play with me.
I'm excited to listen to you and Nick talk about that. I know that's going to be probably a whole separate episode that I'm not even going to be involved in. But I will say this. On the MCP side, I know that they're basing this off of separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is by far the best way to play MCP. So
I'm excited. Listeners.
I'm excited to sit there and see what they do with this with that, and once they work out all of the kinks. I mean, this is the intro to it, and I know it's going to grow from there. But I'm excited to see what they do with it because AMG really knocks it out of the park when it comes to that 4-player multiplayer format and that scenario. So I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it's going to be like its whole own episode, and I don't care if somebody else beats me to it because I actually got to experience it, and it was only by happenstance too. But that's a whole separate story for a whole another episode. If I start talking, we're already past an hour, but just please, please, everybody, if you got this far in the episode, I'm frustrated. I'm not entirely happy, but I am choosing to focus on the positive. And let me tell you, if nothing else, please hold out until you can play Battle of the Sands with me because I'm going to be ridiculous about it because it is the most fun. Like I know I'm not the most competitive player, but here's your last tidbit. If you have the context of how much fun it is to play Magic the Gathering Commander with 3 strangers who don't know how to play the game that well, Battle on the Sands fixes every last problem that you have with a multiplayer free-for-all format, and it does it elegantly, and this was just a beta version that I'm going to describe to you. They aren't even done cooking, and it's one of the best meals I've ever had in multiplayer games ever, full stop.
That sounds fantastic. I would say this. There's a couple of things in the works here. Aubrey is going to have an episode with Jake Nesquick to talk about their experience playing in the Battle of the Sands.
Wait, did Jake do it too?
Not Jake. I'm sorry, Nesquick. Not Jake.
Nick.
Jake's brother,
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait. Okay, sorry. Never mind. Moving on. Stuff in the works.
So
Keep
Jake's
going. Stuff in the works.
Yeah, Jake's brother Nesquick, who is Nick, is going to be probably doing an episode with you talking about Battle of the Sands. I want to get the other 2 guys, Jake and Austin, who were there on the stream with us. I think the 3 of us are probably going to get together as well and do a little bit of a recap to get their experience because they're especially with Austin, it was his first time at Adepticon. Jake, this was his second time, so he was kind of I think he felt kind of like a veteran at this point in time.
Just takes one.
So it just takes one. So he's going to sit there, and I think the 2 of us, or the 3 of us, are going to get together and probably have a little bit of a recap as well. So we have a lot of Adepticon information coming to you, a lot of Adepticon recaps going on. Like I said, we really didn't. I think we were just kind of just randomly talking about stuff, which is kind of what you and I do. I mean, and especially because yeah, this is a random Saturday night. I know I had a couple drinks. You went out to dinner and had probably a couple drinks. So yeah, we had a good time and just kind of talking about Adepticon. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. That's really kind of, I guess, the message that I want to send out is I'm focused on where we go next. We have a GT that we're doing in Arizona. I'm going up to Rocky Mountain Open. If you're in the Colorado area, if you're a casual player, come out and join us and have fun. I mean, you're going to get some promos. You're going to have some good times. I know there's other GTs in the United States coming up. I encourage you to go out and find a way to get to those GTs and enjoy playing this game. There's promos and stuff like that. I'm going to try and get out to a couple more GTs, not just Las Vegas Open, not just Adepticon, not just Rocky Mountain Open. I'm hoping I can get to LSO to stream that and maybe see a couple of other, see what we can do to encourage that. I know I'm in the talks right now with with a company called Green Banner. For those who know Kicker, who's seen a lot of his social media stuff. When he left Frontline Gaming, he went up with another company called Green Banner. They're doing a whole thing, and they have a big team tournament that's going to be coming up here in Arizona in June. And I'm looking at running a Shatterpoint 3-person tournament as well as an MCP 3-player tournament. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go from here, how we grow this community, and I think we can do it. Like I said, I definitely look at Red Mandos out in Australia. I look at the Poland community; they're doing fantastic things out there. France, Spain, they have some big games going on out there. They sit there and continuously have large groups. There's two different groups up in Canada. You have Musbaka and the Coordinated Fire Group. They're doing amazing things out there as well. There's Gamers and Geek out in Alabama. They're running some amazing tournaments. We have a lot of things going on that we can definitely grow off of and continue to grow off of. And I think that's what we can do. One of the guys that was in the stream, Alka-Seltzer, he's out there in New Jersey. He ran a 10-player tournament in February out there in New Jersey. So, I mean, I think that's one of the things we need to look at is like helping and encouraging these tournaments that are going on. Yes, they're only small 8-man, 10-man, 16-man tournaments, but from there we can grow and become larger. And I think that's what we need to continue to do is just work on encouraging these small tournaments, growing from there. Like I said, I see Poland consistently has 10-player tournaments, France consistently, Spain. Our friend Dion out there in Minnesota, he's doing amazing things out there. New Jersey has some great communities with Top Deck and with Elk-Zelser. He's doing great things. So let's encourage our friends out there to continue to run these amazing tournaments and do what we do.
Right. I guess, we really don't plan these things in advance, everybody, just in case you were wondering. We just kind of have a quick little vibe check and say, this is kind of what we want to talk about. And then we hit record and hope for the best. So the thing is I know you're going to go listen to Hello There and Zion's Finest and all these other people who are going to give you the competitive breakdown. We gave you the stream in real time. What it turns out Todd and I wanted to talk about is the community, because that's the thing that I think is most important. Because if we don't have a good community around a game, you could have the greatest game ever, but if you're the only one playing, that's not fun. And I get it. That's why some people are leaving, because they're like, I don't want to be the one. I don't want to be the last one picked for dodgeball. And
I'm okay with being the last person picked for dodgeball. I'll be here standing, getting pummeled with a dodgeball. I'm all right with that.
Right. But at the end of the day, I still believe we aren't there yet. I still believe that we are still on the curve of the arc where we're still in the growth. We're not in the denouement. We're not past the climax. This is to borrow some literary references. The seven of you that I know what I'm talking about, good job. In any event, like we still got it in us. We still got it in us, and I guess this is my call to action, to use the hero's journey term, y'all, the motto myth. Like, come on, join us. Let's go. Yeah, the queen is dead. Long live the queen. Let's. I mean, we about to get a new Padme. Apparently, something's going on there, right?
A new Padme and new Sabe. Let's go. I think I'm excited. Like I said, I'm super excited. And I guess I'm gonna be that guy from what is that movie? Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Let's do this.
I have no idea, but yes.
But no, I'm ready. I think we're gonna have a good time. I'm excited for this year. Either one way or the other, I'm going out with a bang. So let's enjoy the ride with Todd. Watch him go down in flames, or go down in flames with me. One way or the other, I think we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna enjoy this game one way or the other.
We'll just do it like James Dean. It'll be fine. Rebels without a cause.
Right off the cliff. I got you. Okay. That I don't know if I want to go that way or not, but that's what's happening. So we'll make it happen one way or the other. You know what? I'm excited. I'm happy to move forward and go from there. But last thing I want to say is, thanks everyone. We appreciate all the support you've given us over the last 3 years. It's interesting to see kind of like the journey that I've had. Like it was one of those where it's funny. So there's two podcasts that kind of like led me down this path. It was Charles from Omnis Protocols, when he was, before he went to move throw and everything along those lines. I really gravitated towards his, and then post post for those who listen to MCP podcasts, there's one called Across the Bifrost. It was hosted by probably the best player in the world named Pat Dunford. He got married, had a kid, moved away from there, and then there was a person named Norbert, Dr. Norbert, and he took the reins of that podcast, and his vibe kind of is like what I wanted to aspire to be. So those two individuals kind of led me to wanting to do this podcast and talk about games and really express my love for gaming and talking about gaming, which brought us to here. And I want to thank those two people, not like I'm going out, but it's like this is what brought me to being a podcaster, I guess, more than anything, was like those two individuals. So I would definitely want to acknowledge that, especially post Adepticon. Now that I got to meet Norbert, like he's kind of like one of those people that I was like really excited to. I actually like walked through the cold and the windy Milwaukee night just so I could sit there and meet Norbert. Very excited to meet him and everything along those lines. So. But it's like one of those things where I think another one of those reasons why I was excited to be at Adepticon and what like revitalized me was like meeting some of those people that I idolized in the podcasting world and in the gaming world. And I think that's kind of something that maybe all of us need to take a step back and look at is why are we doing this game? Why do we love this game? Why are we doing it? Is because you know what, like we enjoy it and we enjoy spending time with the people that we get to spend time with playing this game. And I think that's the bigger picture for me, is the journey that we've had and everything along those lines.
I mean, I'm just pulling all the IPs in here just to annoy anyone who's like, what are we talking about? Brandon Sanderson, his Wind and Truth, The Night's Radiant. Oh my God, what is that?
Ended the Wheel of Time. He was,
ended the Wheel of Time. Why can't I think of his Words of Radiant? Well, whatever. Anyway, he has a line in there. It's Journey Before Destination. Journey Before Destination. Very simple, very clean. And I think a lot of times we get so fixated on. I mean, what am I even doing? I need to do the Yoda thing. All his life he looked away to the future, the horizon, never his mind on where he was, what he was doing. Like, guys, let's stop worrying about the future and have fun today. Be present. Be present here. Let's have fun today. Like, if you had told me that I would be painting little plastic army men and talking to Todd for hours and hours and hours and irritating the crap out of him with all of my random tangents, and then all of you were interested enough in hearing these rambles and hear me mess up my minis and mess up my terrain and mess up my colors and mess up my painting, and
I'm sorry I did this to all of you. It's my fault. I brought him along with me.
Right.
It's my fault. You could be angry at me later.
Right. But my point is that, like, Todd, you thank the people who got you started. It's all right. I got you. I'm going to thank everyone else because, dear listeners, I said that on accident. I now say it a little purposefully because it's become a tagline of mine. But I didn't come up with that intentionally. That did not happen. I think Jared had to point out that I was saying it a lot on the cast and be like, hey, is this like a thing? And I'm like, well, I guess it is now, because like without the community, like the drive wouldn't be there. The conversations I have, the cool things, the learning, the growth, the failure, the successes, you have to fail early and often to eventually succeed. And have I made plenty of missteps and along this path? Absolutely. But I just want to thank all of you because, like, I know we're getting gushy here at the end of the episode, but this episode was about community. And, like, I love you all. This is really one of the best communities I've ever been in, and I've been doing gaming, like, since, I I had the original Star Wars CCG that I just played with like 2 or 3 people as a kid. Like that was my like first community, was like 2 or 3 nerds who just like Star Wars as much as me, and now here I am talking to all of you. So hey, let's go. May the force be with you.
Yep. So I guess that's a good place to close out. I want to thank all of you guys for listening, hanging in there with us. We appreciate all of you. We hope you keep coming back. I guess there's a couple of shout outs I want to do. General Joseph, I had some great conversations with him. Grand Moff Eric, I had some great conversations with him at AdeptiCon. I know that they listen to our podcast pretty frequently, especially General Joseph. He says, is like, we are his Wednesday podcast when he's getting into work and driving into work. It's his thing. So I hope you enjoyed our episode, and I hope all of you enjoyed our episode. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate all of you. As always, I mean, if you want to support us, there is the Patreon. We'll put the link in the description below if you want to continue to do that. We're going to be here for the long haul, so go ahead and hitch your wagon to this tractor, and we'll pull you along the finish line and see what happens there, buddy.
That's not going to be very fast.
That is.
All right.
You know what? That's the redneck in me coming out. I live in Arizona, and I have 40 acres up north that you can sit there and come and shoot your guns on. So, the redneck in me is coming out. Let's go ahead and sit there and do that.
I grew up in a farm town, Todd. So a guy rode his horse to school as a form of transportation.
You do realize I have a shooting range on my property because I got 40 acres. I taught my 13-year-old how to shoot out there. Come on, let's go do it.
All right, brother.
Anyway, I'm going to end this one by saying, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the continued support. Keep on playing Shatterpoint. Keep on rolling them dice. May the force be with you.
We are one with the force, and the force is with us.